Chitose is in the Ramune Bottle Volume Review. The story follows the protagonist, Sako Chitose, who is the most popular kid in his high school and is about to start his second year, surrounded by pretty girls and other popular students. Chitose is invited by all around him if he go in the secret forum for school. He soon finds some comments complaining about the name, calling Chitose. Despite the haters, Chitose finds himself in the position of class president and teacher. Korenasuke Iwanami, nicknamed Kuro, immediately saddles him with the job of bringing a shut-in student back to class. Chitose isn't thrilled about this, and he's been less happy. He learns the kid is Kenta Yamasaki, an otaku who, after being turned down by his romantic interest, has nothing but hatred for the world. For the next few days, Chitose head to Kenta's house with a friend in tow, either Yoko Hiragi, who was the vice class president, or Yuwa Ochida. Both of whom Chitose holds will offer a friendly face to help lure out Kenta. Naturally, Kenta knows exactly who Chitose is. It's not him. He has a harem of pretty girls, which leads to the two of them getting off on the wrong foot and arguing day after day. Kenta resents Chitose for being a popular kid who has everything in his life handed to him, while Kenta is charmed for his interests and otaku hobbies. But the protagonist doesn't deny Kenta's claims. He does encourage Kenta to try some lifestyle change, which will allow him to return to class with his hand held high and maybe even prove himself to the girl who shuts him down. Ultimately, Kenta agrees to come back to class, and Chitose lets him hang out in his friend cycle, where guiding him in how to interact with others and taking him out to buy new clothes on the weekend. At this point, I'm sure the story is starting to remind you of Bonatai character Tomazaki, and admittedly, there are a lot of similarities here. The main difference is that instead of a story being told from the perspective of the character in needing help, we're following the popular one who has already gotten made. So to speak, on the whole, I quite like the story surrounding Kenta, given that it's fairly honest in showing that he can turn his whole life around overnight, but a few small changes make a big difference of both your self-confidence and how you're perceived by those around you. I don't see for what it is. The story is interesting enough, and author Hiromu is good at writing character interactions, with snappy dialogue and a large likable cast of characters. But all falls apart for me is with our protagonist himself. He ends up being completely insufferable, He has no flaws that we know of yet, and struts around like he's God, constantly talking about his good looks and popularity. His interactions with Kenta range from having sympathy for him to mocking both him and his hobbies. I'm not entirely sure where Chitose stands on that by the end, since he does backtrack on some of his harsh statements, only to double down later and backtrack again. Right now, Chitose's personality just comes off as rotten, and there are no real repercussions for me acting this way. I was hoping he'd get his comeuppance toward the end of this first volume, but sadly that doesn't come to fruition. He seems to have a story of his own from some snippets of information we learn, such as being an ex-member of the baseball club. But this isn't explored enough for us to get a sense of who he was and why his personality is like it is now. I would not be surprised to hear a lot of readers dropping the series at this simply because of how frustrating Chitose is as a protagonist. Given the series started back in 2019, it did top the Conan Light Novel Gasokoi ranking until a year after. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the top and try out Volume 2. I've also heard something more positive things for people who want to read more, so I'm hoping that like Bonatai character Tomazaki, which improved drastically in Volume 2, this one will follow a similar path. That's a lot of investment for the average reader, which is definitely a mark against the series. You really should be able to talk your readers for the first book, especially with this concept isn't particularly original even in the English market. There are similarities between novels the audience could be reading. The one single saving grace is that the characters who hang around Chitose are likable. Even the girls don't seem to have feelings for him. It's a shame they're rather undeveloped in this installment. But now Kento's storyline is over, I'm hoping to take a spotlight in the stories to come. As previously mentioned, Chitose is in the Ramune Bottle Volume 1 comes to the West thanks to Yen Press. It has been translated by Avilon. The translation reads well, no issues to note. Illustrations for the series are handled by Rams, who offers a selection of images focused on the various female members of the cast. They're suitably cutesy and fit the tone of the series well enough. The series is ongoing in Japan with 7 volumes, including a 6.5 release, and Yen Press currently have Volume 2 with scheduled for English release in July. Overall, right now Chitose is in the Ramune Bottle is incredibly difficult to recommend to anyone. The writing is good and I like the extended cast, but Chitose is such an insufferable insufferable protagonist that I'm finding hard to believe anyone will be able to put up with him throughout this book. I certainly recommend several other series over this one. Sadly, hopefully the next century manages to turn things around. 5 out of 10.